Jim Norton is not a doctor. He's not an expert. He's not even a good person. The views, opinions, advice, and humor of Jim Norton does not reflect those of any doctor, of SiriusXM, of Opie Radio, or anyone else. They are solely those of Jim Norton, Lyle Chipperson, Edgar Mellencamp, Paul Hargis, and whoever else lives in that chinless head of his. If any of this advice goes wrong, you are the asshole who called a comedian instead of a doctor.
An icon in comedy, a fighter for freedoms, an accomplished entertainer, and a pervert. You've got problems, he's got problems. You've got questions, he's got answers, some of which are good. Call now, 866-WOW-1-WOW. That's 866-969-1969. This is the Jim Norton Show.
Hello. Thank you for tuning in. I tweeted late today because I had to shower. I took a nap and I showered. And then I was panicking because things weren't working. We were having some technical glitches, which Lou, luckily, got on and fixed immediately. So now I am on the air. And, so call in or write a question on Twitter. And I'll do the best I can to help you. I've had a pretty good week. Like, I go through my periods of feeling stagnation, career stagnation. I talked last week, like I opened up, I said I did an acting job and I felt uncomfortable. And then it just hit me that I'm just always uncomfortable. Like, even in real life, talking to my friends, I feel discomfort. I feel out of place. And it's not always, but it's just certain times. I just feel like I'm living in I'm not in the moment, or and that's just how I am in my life. So no wonder I feel that way. So after that realization, I had another acting job. I did a 3-day shoot last week, and I think it went really great. At least I hope it went really great. Because if it didn't go great, and they're saying it went really well, I was very comfortable. So if they're saying it didn't go well, I would just fucking blow my brains out, because it's like I have no grasp on what's good and what's not good. You think you're doing something right, and then you just look at it and you realize it was a bunch of garbage. And Bob in Texas wants to know. This is not necessarily advice, but I'll talk to you. What's up, Bob in Texas?
Hey, thanks, Jim. Hey, I love this show, but if I miss it, when does it ever replay, or is there a podcast of it? Because I really like this show, man.
I do not know, to be very honest with you. I know they replay it somewhere, but I don't think I'm allowed to just take it and make it a podcast. I mean, if Sirius ever fired me, if they ever made the grave mistake / smart business move of firing me, I would probably go do something very similar on a podcast. But I don't think this one will become one. But it is replayed. I just don't know where. Is it on demand right after the show? I'm getting a little communique. It's on demand right after the show. So I guess you can go to our app when it's working and get it on demand there.
Sweet.
Okay?
Thanks.
I love when we can help somebody. I love when somebody calls in and I have a concrete answer. Thank you. Artie in Connecticut says he lives in a nice place, but there's nothing going on in your town. Where should he relocate? Oh, Artie, I don't know. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Good. You live in a small town?
Yeah, and it's kind of dead. Hey, can I ask you another question off the side real quick?
You sure can.
Do you like Jeremy Previn?
The actor Jeremy Previn?
Yeah.
Was that how you say it, Previn? I've met him once. He was nice when I met him. I think he's a good actor, but I don't watch Entourage. What else has he been in that I would know him from?
Well, listen. This is what he did to me. I was at the concert, the 12-12-12 concert. And
when was that?
12-12-12.
I'm kidding. I jest. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was still laughing. So anyways, I was getting a hoodie, and I bought a hoodie with a zipper, and I wanted the hoodie without the zipper, and I had already waited in line. So they go over to the other side and tell them you already waited in line and you want a hoodie because they were out, and fine. So Mr. Jeremy Previn is there, and he goes, "I'll kick your ass." And I was on crutches because it was the only way to get the last seat in the place. I had to go in as a handicap.
So wait, you faked being on crutches, but Jeremy Previn is the asshole.
Yes.
Do you not see what a silly goose you are? Now, what happened? He said, "I'll kick your ass" for cutting him. All right, maybe was he drunk or was he fucking just waiting in line a long time?
Perfectly fine. He's perfectly fine.
Well, I don't know if that makes him an asshole though. I don't know him well enough to comment.
But
Like I've never.
You know, I was faking being on crutches. That's the whole point.
That's true. That's true.
Tickets were $500, and there was no way I'm going to get kicked out over that. I don't want to say.
How about this? Maybe you're both assholes. Maybe in a perfect world, you guys deserved each other in that interaction because he was going to be a dick and you were being a dick to begin with because some poor guy who really was injured couldn't get that seat. So let's just say that you and Jeremy canceled each other out.
Up there in the back, in the nosebleeds.
You were?
Yeah, that's where they stick the handicaps. They were the worst seats in the house.
All right, well, you know, it's funny when I was shooting my last special, which people really seem to enjoy, not that it's about me, but the front row of the, I don't like when the venue tells me shit to do. So in the very front row, they were going to have a little section. I wanted it to be all seats right in the front. And they had a little section like, well, they're going to put the wheelchairs here. And I'm like, no, I want there to be seats. And I caught myself. I'm like, what an asshole I am. I'm like, forget I said that. Of course, put wheelchairs there. I'm thinking some fucking soldier's coming home from having his legs blown off, but I don't want him in the front row. Like, what a dick I sound like. Sometimes people are just dicks for no reason. And in that moment, I was a temporary dick for no reason. This is before the audience came in. So maybe Jeremy was just a dick for no reason there. Sometimes your initial reaction when you think somebody is doing something you don't want them to do is immediately be a dick. And then when you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, I should have been nicer to that person. You know what I mean? So maybe that's all it was.
Would you move to Florida or California?
California, dude. I mean, for me, L.A., you know me. I'm Mr. Showbiz. But this is not advice, sir. I don't know what to tell you. Why are you having problems in your hometown?
What about the Fukushima where they say the radiation's coming over from Tokyo?
Fukushima? I don't care. I like sushi. I'm willing to take a little radiation.
Thanks, boss.
All right, Artie.
Where's the chipper?
I'm right here, stupid. I hope you get fucking crutches on your runner. I couldn't think of nothing. All right, I'll see you later.
Have a good one.
Piece of garbage. 12-12-12. When was that? Fucking home run Norton. Let's see. Eric in New York. They're starting a new relationship with a girl in the town in which he lives. But you've been dating a girl 3 hours away and you want to break off the long distance one. Well, that's pretty fucking easy. What's up, man?
Hey, Jimmy. How's it going?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Oh, a little conflicted, you know. Because there's this girl 3 hours away. I've been talking. I live in upstate New York. She's in Philadelphia, and we've seen each other a couple times. It's just not working, but she is hard pressed to stay in a relationship. I just can't do it with the distance, and I just want to call it off. I don't know how to, you know. Well,
you tell her that you met someone, I would suggest just being honest, even though it's good. How long have you been with her?
Let's see. I've known her for 4 months. I've been with her for about 1 month now. It's just not working out. I've tried, you know.
Yeah, why don't you just say, look, the long distance. Yeah, dude, you're acting like it's a marriage. You can be nice. I think the best thing you can do is be honest with her.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Say, look, I have cancer. I'm going to die. I'd love to date you more, but I'm going to die, so I can't do it.
I think it's easier because she's 3 hours away. This girl I'm dating, she lives, 2 blocks away. It's easier to get together with her. I could see her more often.
Yeah, of course.
It's just killing me, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
I've never ended a relationship like that, you know?
Well, be nice about it. That's all. I would say be nice, all right?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, bye-bye.
All righty, thank you.
Hey, Scott in New Jersey. What's my opinion of ESPN Caitlyn Jenner's story? I don't know what you mean. What's the story?
What's up, Jimmy?
Hi, Scott.
Hey, so the whole thing is how Bruce Jenner changed, obviously, himself into Caitlyn Jenner. A girl by the name of Lauryn Hill, who passed away from brain cancer, freshman in college, raised millions for brain cancer awareness, was supposed to receive this award. And all of a sudden, now that Bruce Jenner has made himself into a woman, ESPN has now changed who they're going to go ahead and do it and give the Arthur Ashe Award, which is for courage in sports, to Caitlyn Jenner instead.
Wait, I heard that I didn't hear anything about the brain cancer thing, so I didn't know there was a girl with brain cancer that was legitimately supposed to get the award?
Everybody was 100% behind her. She was supposed to get it. She was the highest, talked about person to get it. Everybody was completely under the assumption she was going to get it. All of a sudden, within one day, Bruce Jenner goes ahead, announces he's Caitlyn Jenner, and now he's getting the Arthur Ashe Award.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I would say the thing with Bruce Jenner that's been annoying me, or Caitlyn Jenner, is everyone coming out with the same, it's so courageous. But just because everyone's being annoying about it, it doesn't mean that it's not a ballsy thing that Bruce Jenner did. I don't know. I don't want to see a girl with brain cancer get passed up for that. If she was...
the other thing is that Bruce hasn't done anything in years. Obviously, he was the world's greatest athlete when he won, the decathlon. But he hasn't done anything other than be a media, just a person within the media because of Kardashians. How is he impacting sports? And this girl get passed up because of that.
That's pretty disgusting. That's a good point. I mean, I'm saying I don't mind seeing Bruce Jenner get praise because it is a courageous thing. However, if that's the girl who is playing sports and raising money for brain cancer and she's dead, I can see why that would annoy people. So, Twitter users. I'm looking at, as we're talking, dude, I'm looking at the computer and it's saying Twitter users call for ESPN. Well, I would say, look, if they hadn't promised or indicated they were going to give it to Lauryn Hill, was it just understood that they were going to, or did they say they were going to?
It was pretty much understood that they were going to. It wasn't 100% announced, but, it's all over the internet. There's even that, the veteran in the military. I don't know too much about that. My buddy spoke to me about it, but, for a girl who raised well over, I think it was like $100 million for brain cancer research and awareness, and did all this stuff, and, she played basketball in college, passed away, unfortunately, a few months ago, I believe it was, to kind of get pushed aside. And look, I'm not taking anything away from the courage that Bruce Jenner... Right,
yeah, no, I know what you mean, yeah. It's like, and you said in your thing that you're thinking of boycotting ESPN. I mean, if you feel that they're being... if you feel that they're giving an award to someone who doesn't deserve it and you don't want to be a part of that, then feel free to boycott them. I mean, that's all you can do, I guess, is call on Twitter and complain about it, or don't watch them anymore. We always complain when people say something on the air. And it's always like, well, then don't watch or listen to that. And if enough people don't watch or listen to it, they will suffer. That's the way to get something done if you don't like something. So make your feelings known. And, I'm not saying boycott it, but if you want to, then go ahead. I mean, I don't know what to say about it, because I think it's kind of shitty. Actually, it's very shitty if this poor girl with brain cancer drops dead.
It's pretty much telling every person with cancer, screw life. You're not important, but we'll take the people that go ahead and are more social media or all over the news.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think they're saying it that blatantly. I think what they're doing is just being typical scumbag fucking big company, which is think of what you can get out of it instead of the genuineness of the award. So then maybe nobody should take their Courage in Sports award seriously. I mean, it's not like they're giving it to someone that doesn't have courage, in sports. Bruce Jenner, he's one of the biggest athletes in our country's history, but I would give it to the girl with brain cancer. That's just not as sexy. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a joke way. I mean, the girl with brain cancer who's dead isn't as headline grabbing as Caitlyn Jenner is. So it seems like they're being very opportunist. I'll definitely agree with you there.
All right, I appreciate your time on that, Jimmy.
Yeah, that kind of stinks, buddy. So thanks for calling.
Definitely, boss.
Okay, Rich in Florida wants to clear up something, in my opinion, with Bruce Jenner. Hi, Rich.
Oh, it wasn't. I was wanting to see if you could help me out on this, because, he's a guy that said he felt he was born a woman, and y'all in the show always talk about people. Well, you think that people were born gay or born lesbian or whatever, but if you think that you were born gay and then you have a sex change to be a woman, is that not discrediting being gay?
I don't know, man. I don't think that Bruce Jenner, I think a lot of people who become transgender aren't gay. There are people that become lesbian. Kelly Claymore is a trans porn star who doesn't fuck men. Is only attracted to women. So I don't know what to tell you about that. I don't fucking know all the ins and outs of it. It's very confusing. It's one of those things I think that we're all trying to wrap our heads around, and I don't know what the answer to that is. What's the difference between say you're born something and then just being mentally off and mentally ill and being wrong, and legitimately, is it hormones or medical shit? I don't know. I sound like a total idiot right now, but I do not know how to answer that question, sir. I don't know what the answer is.
All right. I was just wondering. I know you're an expert on the transgender community.
I only know how much fun they are. I don't know all the medical ins and outs of it, but I'm with you, and I'm just as curious as you are.
All right. Thank you.
All right, my friend. Nick in Chicago, fast food question. What's up, buddy?
Love the show. Sorry, this isn't about Bruce Jenner.
No, that's fine. Some fast food. There's other Bruce Jenner questions. I actually would rather take your call.
Well, it all started back in high school when I was a wrestler. I've got this unhealthy obsession with food and like fast food, and I need help like not eating it because it's so cheap and it's just so easy to eat, you know. And I want to eat healthier.
Is it part of it that you used to be able to burn it off because you were working out so hard and now you can't?
Yeah, like wrestling, like I lose like 6 pounds per practice, and it was so easy, and now like I'm a fat slob.
Well, okay, so you just start doing. Again, I've been recommending this Whole30 diet. There's no shortcuts. How much do you want to lose?
Like 10 pounds. It's summer right now. I want to get my beach bod, you know.
Yeah. Sure, man. It's just don't eat it. Like the thing is, it's the farther away from it I am, the easier it is to not eat it. But everywhere you go, you're inundated with, like, you go into an airport, it's all McDonald's. And look, that stuff does taste good, but you always feel like a piece of shit when you're finished. You know what I mean? Yeah. It makes your stomach hurt. Like, it's just, you don't feel like you ate something healthy. So just make yourself eat something healthy. Like, say, like, I'm not going to eat this shit. Like, nobody wants to eat fucking baby carrots or apples. But you know what? You got to make that decision sometimes. So I would check out the Whole30 diet. I have no connection to that diet at all. I'm just telling you, it has helped me greatly in the last month and a half or so. So see what's going on.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jim.
Try it, buddy. Okay, and then go to the gym again. That's all.
Thank you.
All right, John in Nashville. Your friend got busted for child porn. What's up?
Hey, Jimbo.
Hey, man. Was it like a legitimate child porn bust, or was it,
Well, what happened? The story he tells me, he was drunk and downloaded some stuff. FBI knocked on his door, confiscated his computer. They found like 900 images.
He got drunk and hold on. Have you ever heard of anybody download accidentally 900 images?
No. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't accidental.
Okay.
He admits that he did it. He said it was a one-time thing. The main reason I'm calling you is a lot of what he tied it back to was when he was young, 6 to 10, something like that. Him and a relative of his, same age, they experimented with each other a lot, and he just, similar to you and your Monster Rain.
Right, sure.
And so he, what he's saying is, he went looking so he could make himself feel normal, that, it wasn't just him that did it, things like that.
I don't know. I'll say this. I think there are times where that's really true. But I also think at times people just are turned on by this child porn or whatever it is, and they jerk off to it. And then when they get caught, they go, oh, I was just trying to. And the reason I say that is because it's not like the FBI found a bunch of deleted images on his thing. And he
actually, sorry to interrupt. That is kind of what happened. It was
okay.
8 items. He downloaded it all. It was like a torrent site. And he said he just downloaded them and then delete them, and just, it was just one of those things where he was messed up in the head and was just feeling like he needed to feel. And
so he wasn't actively downloading them.
No, he wasn't actively downloading, and even the FBI was like, this isn't what we normally find. What they normally find is somebody has a stockpile of images and they're still saved. And, this was obviously, it wasn't that case. And I want to believe him. He wants me to write a character reference letter for him. And, I've literally known this kid since he was born. I believe he's a good kid, but I also have kids of my own.
Yeah, of course, man. That's a rough one, dude. Loyalty's important, but child porn is that's a big one. That's a really fucking big one. The only thing I can suggest, I don't know what I would do in that situation. It would depend on what I felt about the person. If I felt they were molesting kids, absolutely not. If I felt they made a terrible mistake and they were just fucked up, but they were helpable, Yeah, maybe I'd write them a reference, and you just got to tell the truth about how you know that person. Like, that's not the person I know. They said they were abused. I don't know. In that situation, I may just go, look, man, I love you, but I can't do that. I think you got to do what you're comfortable with. Yeah. I don't know what this guy's fucking story is. Maybe he's lying, and maybe he just got busted doing it, and maybe he has molested kids. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, I mean, knowing the guy as well as I do, I really don't. I don't believe he'd actually do anything to a kid. I mean, I just don't see it in him. But there's that, and I believe him 99.9%. But as a parent, that 0.1% is really heavy on me. That I would feel like shit if I wrote this character reference and then 5-10 years, however long it is down the road, he does something. I know it's not my fault, but
yeah,
I just don't know if I can live with myself at that point.
You know what, dude? Then you've answered your own question. You've answered your own question. If you're that uncomfortable with it, you have children. I don't think anybody can fault you for going, I don't want to write a character reference for somebody who's watching child porn.
Yeah.
That's a very tall order for him to ask you that. So, if you're close to him, but you're not 100%, then don't do it. That's all.
Well, thank you, sir. Not the answer I wanted, but yeah, I think you're probably right.
I'm not even saying don't do it. I'm saying you got to do what you feel right about, and that's a big one, man. That's not like he got caught drunk driving or he got into a fist fight. There's people who have an altercation of physical violence, and it happens once when they're drunk, and that's a different story. Someone who's getting drunk and actively downloading child pornography, they're contributing to a fucking horrible problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, Jimmy.
Bunch of tattletales. I would suggest write him a glowing report.
You make my skin crawl.
All right, buddy. I'll see you later.
Appreciate it.
All right, take care. Let's see here. Luke in Chicago, about to be a freshman in college. What's up, buddy?
Oh, no, this is Jim in Chicago. Is this you, Jimmy?
Oh, it is. Hey, Jim.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
Sorry. I had another Bruce Jenner question. Hey,
there's another guy Luke wants to ask about writing. Okay, we'll talk to you first. What's up?
My bad. With as much press as he's getting, or she's getting, how do you think it's going to influence the copycats per se, saying, "Oh my God, if I do this, I'll get attention"?
I don't know. It's like anything else in life. If you give it enough press, will people copycat it? Maybe. But I think that sometimes the good outweighs the bad. Like, is the bad of a few copycats doing it? Does that outweigh the amount of people that it might help? Look, because the bottom line is a lot of trans people fucking commit suicide. It's a really, It's good to see somebody getting some positive praise. The celebrities are really annoying me. And it's annoying me, this culture where if anybody questions it or is confused by it, you're seen as a bigot. Or if you have the nerve to make a joke, you're seen as a fucking homophobe. That's the shit that bugs me. But I don't think that, look, if people are saying, hey, good for you and it's okay and we accept you. Hey, look, man, if that type of stuff helps keep a few teenagers from fucking hanging themselves and jumping off bridges, then I think it's nice. I don't have any problem with it. And I'm not even talking because I like trannies. I'm just saying in general, it's, what else are people going to do? Shame? You're terrible. You're a bad influence on children. It's a bad influence on children. The fact that your fucking, your mothers and fathers are drinking and hitting you and getting divorced and not being paid enough there's a lot more shit that's a worse influence on kid than fucking Bruce Jenner chopping his dick off. People use that kid shit as an excuse because they don't like something. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to explain that to my kids. Good, then don't. Let your kid grow up to be as fucking stupid as you are. Who cares? Yeah. Fuck you and fuck the kid.
My daughter, she's 12, she asked me about it, and I told her, what he's going through and all that, and she said, well, do you have to? She's a little confused. I said, look, the only thing you got to worry about is the space between your ears. You control you, and that's it. If somebody else does some shit, that's their thing. You should
be Chip. You should just point and go, that lady's got a pecker. That lady's got a pecker. Just point and say that over and over until your daughter goes, Dad, you're an idiot, and then walks out of the room. That's how you explain it.
Very cool. Always a pleasure, Jim. Thank you.
All right, man. See you later. I'm sorry, Luke in Chicago, who the Jim was a delight, but we meant to go to you. You're going to be a freshman in college. What's up?
Hey, Jim. I'm a big fan of the show and all the work you've done over.
Luke, we should have went to you first. Compliment City. What's up? Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm 18 years old and I'm going to college in a few months, and I'm majoring in creative writing, and I'm wondering if I should major in something more practical so I can get like a definite job in the future, as opposed to like something artistic or art.
Well, it's funny. I'm reading Stephen King's book called About Writing, which is it's autobiographical. It's about him as a writer. It's really good. And he's talking about his journey through going through college and how he wanted to be a writer. And there's a lot of rejection, man. A lot of, like, even Harry Potter got rejected by fucking everyone until they finally didn't. She finally didn't. So I think it's very hard to make a real living doing that. And I think to major in creative writing, hey, look, maybe you can do that. I know Stephen King got a teacher's degree, I believe a degree in teaching. I don't know if you need to major in creative writing to be a great writer. Like, I don't know if you need to major in it to have a good career as a writer. So maybe you can get, if there's anything else you really like and want to do, maybe you can major in that and then just take a little bit of creative writing with that. Because I think if you have the gift of writing, I don't think you need to be take creative writing as a major to learn how to do it.
Oh, and then I guess by that same token, do you need to be a good reader in order to write good material? Like, do you need to read a lot to write a lot?
I don't know. I mean, I never thought about it like that. Maybe it helps. Maybe it helps you see how stories are structured or sentences are structured or how thoughts and how ideas progress. So sure. It's like, every good actor, I'm sure, has watched a bunch of actors in their life. And as a comedian, I try not to watch them now. But growing up as a kid, I watched them all the time. So sure, I'm sure being a good reader helps, which I no longer am. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. And you know what? Let me say yes, it will help you. Because I've written some articles for Time, and it's much harder for me just to sit down and focus on writing the less reading I have done. So the patience that will enable you to read and relax and drink something in or soak. In fact, I just said drink something in like I'm my fucking aunt. I should be smashed. But you know what I mean? Like to soak in an article or soak in an idea, that gives you the patience to think one through when you're writing it. So yeah, it probably does help.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Jim.
Be good, buddy. Dave in Chicago. No, a lot of Chicago calls. I like that. I'm pretty big in the old Windy City. Your brother's been clean 5 years, but he talks about the past. What's up, buddy?
So here's what, Jimmy, by the way, I think you're beautiful, brave, and courageous. So many ways.
Thank you very much. Most people think I'm none of those things, but thank you. You're a sweet man.
So here's the situation. So my brother was into some pretty hardcore drugs for about 16 years, all right, dealing and using. And he's been clean for around 5 now, and he's doing great. He's got a great job, and it could be prouder of him, honestly. But here's kind of the problem, like, especially I've noticed this around family, like, it's not like he brings up the past, but like, you'll just be talking, and then, like, all of a sudden someone will be like, you've just come so far, and we're just so proud of you. And, like, and we are, but it gets to the point where, like, I feel like I'm talking about it, like, almost every time I talk to my brother anymore, right? And
well, are you bringing it up, or is he?
I don't know. It's just like something. I don't know. It's not like something just like out of the blue, just like, oh, I'm so proud of you. It's like we have another family member who's going through some stuff right now, right? So some drug issues. So of course people like, Brian, what should he do? Like, and it's kind of like, Brian could be someone that could be very helpful, but at the same time, it's like, it's been clean. I just worried that he's going to have like relapse or something like that, just because we talk about this shit.
No, nothing you guys say is going to make nothing you say is going to make him pick up. I think people do that sometimes because they are genuinely happy for you, and maybe they're afraid if they don't positively reinforce it, that you might slip back. Does it bother him?
No, I don't think so. I think sometimes you'll talk to him and like you can kind of tell if he hesitates a little bit, like he doesn't want to go there, which is fine. Like I just enjoyed having my brother back, to be honest, because he is older than I am. It's been great. I try to focus on that as much as I can. So I'm trying to be as supportive as possible without being like an ass. You know what I'm saying?
Just make a conscious effort to go. It's been 5 years to yourself. No more am I going to mention this unless it's pertinent to what we're talking about. Just make an effort. Sometimes we probably forget, like you mean to not say something, but you say it anyway. Just make a conscious effort. I'm not going to mention the past because it has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. And if you think about it, you might catch yourself ready to do it, and then you won't do it.
All right, I appreciate that. That's pretty helpful.
Or maybe you put a note on your refrigerator. Do not mention this junkie fuck's past. Just make sure he doesn't see it.
No shit. Hey, you had a lot of callers from Chicago. When are you coming to the city?
I want to book something very soon, actually. It's been a while. I say the Windy City, so I sound like I'm of Chicago. But I want to get out there very soon. It's been a little while since I've been in Chicago, I believe. So hopefully within the next 6 months, all right?
I'll come and see you. Thanks a lot, brother. See you.
Okay, buddy. Thank you very much. Anthony in New Jersey, consider yourself a dirty comic, but has a hard time getting booked. Oh, yeah. What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Hey, Ant.
Hey, I'm a pretty new comic. I've been doing about 3 years, but people that are my peers, I find they're getting booked more, and I keep finding that they're saying that I'm too dirty.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that dirty. You know what I mean? Like, I've opened for Levy a couple times. I mean, compared to Bob, I'm not dirty.
Right.
But
no one's dirty compared to Bob.
I'm having a lot of trouble and I keep hearing I'm too dirty, but I'm just talking about life, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just very frustrating.
Well, I think one reason you're probably having trouble, and I certainly went through it, is early 3 years in, 4 years in, a lot of the work you're going to be doing is MC work. You're hosting. And when you're hosting, you're going up first. And when you're going up first, you're warming up the audience. So, I mean, it stinks, but the reality is when you walk up to a cold crowd, hosting is a great gig. It stinks. It's not enough money. But it teaches you, it makes you very strong because you have no laughs to go on. The crowd is dead. You have to wake them up. You have to get them into the show. You have to make them laugh. It's like, it really makes you work, man. It makes you a much stronger comedian to host than it does to go up second. For people who don't know familiar, on the road, you have an MC who does usually 15 minutes up front, and then what we call the feature or the middle act who does 20 to 25 minutes, and then you have the headliner. And the feature act has the easiest job because they don't have the pressure of the headliner and they don't have to fucking go up to a dead crowd in the beginning like the host. Half the time the waitress is still taking orders when you're going up there. So the crowd gets shocked easier by the first guy than they will by the headliner. So if you're being told you're too dirty, when you're new, it does help to learn how to work a little bit cleaner. Now, I'm not saying sell out who you are or don't curse, but you don't want to get into a point where you can only work dirty, because that's going to hurt you later on if you ever want to do television. I mean, George Carlin did television. Richard Pryor did television. You know, every fucking great, Rodney did television. So, it's not like you have to be like this edgy comic who never does TV. I mean, Hicks did fucking a shitload of Lettermans. So you want to learn how to work without cursing if you can help it, because, after a while you can do what you want, but that's a good skill to have. So if everyone's telling you you're too dirty, make an effort to say what you want to say, but just say it maybe cleaner for a while, because you can always go back to writing dirty shit, dude. That's always going to be there. The challenge now is to work that muscle and make yourself write some cleaner stuff, because it just gives you it just makes you a better comedian overall to have variety.
Okay.
Okay? So, you learn from that and go, it stinks to hear it. And I'm not saying don't be dirty. I'm not one of these bookers going, don't curse. But if you're too dirty to get work, then you know what, man? You work on that a little bit and you learn how to work a little bit cleaner, because the dirty stuff is always there for you anyway. And then once you start headlining, you can much more do what you want to do.
Alrighty.
All right, but I'm not saying be totally clean, but just be clean enough where you can get some kind of fucking work, because you're not going to be filthy on television anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I could take all the fucks out. You know what I mean? Like, I take the curses out, but sometimes the subject matter, I'm like, all right, I can't cover that one.
Yeah, no, that's the trouble I have too, man. I've had that trouble my whole career, but I've learned like how I can be a pig sometimes and how I can do stand up on TV other times. I've learned how to do it, but I'm much funnier dirty. Obviously, I think we all are.
Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty, thanks, sweetie.
All right, good luck, Anthony.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Okay, Carrie in New York. What's up, Carrie?
I need your help.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I'm a sex addict or if I'm just having issues. I've never gotten over my high school sweetheart.
Okay.
I'm married.
How long?
And I have recently reconnected with my high school sweetheart.
Hold on, how long you married?
6 years, 7 years.
Have you fucked the old boyfriend?
Yes, I do. Now
okay.
I do.
The term for you, I think, is good egg. But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Are you afraid you're probably going to get caught sooner or later?
I'm not sure. He's as into me as I'm into him, but I don't know if it's purely sexual or if it's the excitement, or if it's I don't know.
It's probably the excitement. It's probably the excitement because you go back to the high school boyfriend. It's a simpler time. It's a little bit taboo. I think it's probably that. I know that I've done stuff like that where you reach back into the past, and it's just a fun thing to explore now as an adult. Yeah, it's probably that.
Do you think so? Because we broke up because there was a pregnancy involved.
You got pregnant and he dumped you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it sounds like a great guy. I mean, come on.
No, it was my choice to walk away.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't him. But like I said, we reconnected, and I don't know if I'm addicted to sex outside my marriage, or if it's the excitement, or I'm really confused.
Well, have you fucked anybody else or done anything with anybody else?
No, nobody else.
No, well, then I don't know if it's sex addiction or not. I don't know. I mean, if your motive is because maybe you're not as in love with your husband as you thought, I don't know if that makes you a sex addict.
Okay, but
I don't know.
If I'm going back to the well after 20 years.
Well, that could just be sometimes we do things to make us, we get bored. A lot of times you're bored with things in life and you just do something to shake things up a little bit, and that's part of what sex addiction is. And it's also part of just, when people need to work on things in their marriage. Again, that's the problem married people have. They get fucking bored. And now with social networking, you can connect on Facebook and talk to all these old people. It's so...
Okay, but I have to get off every morning.
Oh.
Every morning. And I don't know if that's an issue.
Well, does it make you not want to have sex because you're masturbating so much?
Oh, no, it makes me want to have more.
Okay. I wouldn't say that's an issue then. I mean, hey, if it's not hurting you, but if you're getting off every morning and if you think you might have a sex problem, maybe you do. I mean, I'm not going to say you don't, but I don't think just because you're fucking your high school boyfriend, it means you definitely are a sex addict. I can't say that.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I don't know, my love. I'm sorry I can't help you more.
I'm sorry. My phone call is boring.
It's not boring. You're married and you're fucking your old boyfriend. That's not boring. That's phenomenal.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right.
And we saw you at Foxwoods. I went to see you with my old boyfriend at Foxwoods. We had a great time. We took like crazy.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I hope I helped you rekindle your romance. All right.
Okay. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Goodbye, cutie. Let's see here. A lot of Bruce Jenner calls. Holy shit. Dan in Cleveland. Okay. Do I think Bruce Jenner is mistakenly being called a hero?
What's up, Jim?
Hi. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I think Caitlyn should change her last name to Gender or something.
Fuck yeah. Fucking home run, Danny.
Oh.
Absolutely.
But hey, that's not what I want. I called because what I said, I don't care if he fucking keeps his dick, gets his dick cut off, is a woman, is gay, straight, I don't give a fuck. I get pissed when they start, it's so heroic. I think I view the heroes as, the men and women in the military, the armed services.
People throw around
I would
heroes.
say courageous.
Yeah, courageous I think is a better thing. A hero to that community, maybe? Sure. Somebody that big doing a move that big, yeah, all right, it's very brave, and you're a hero to the transgendered community, fair enough. But I think that people throw the word hero around with anything too much. I don't think all cops are heroes. I don't think all bank robbers are terrible. I don't think do you know what I mean? It's like the people just like to say hero, and it's silly. I mean, there's times where it applies, and there's times where it doesn't.
Yeah, I think it gets thrown around way too much. And
You're probably
it pisses
right.
me off, and like when people compare, say, when they're watching a football game, they're like, it's like a war zone out there. I get so fucking pissed.
Well, it's just a figure of speech, dude. It's not worth upsetting yourself. Sure, it's not worth getting all bothered about. It's just one of those things people do.
Yeah, I know.
All right?
You come back to Cleveland anytime soon, Jimmy?
I do want to book Cleveland, hopefully within the next 6 months.
Fuck yeah.
All right?
Thanks, buddy.
All right, take care. Let's see here. Brad in New Orleans, advice on a girl he's dating. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Jimmy. First, I want to say I've been listening to you guys since 2000 when you guys were syndicated down here in New Orleans and been listening ever since.
Thank you.
And New Orleans wants you down here, so hopefully you can make that in the works too. Come down to New
I would
Orleans
like to.
and
I've never done a gig there. I did a college with Pete Corielli.
You got to.
15 years
You got
ago.
to. Bill Burr was just, I've seen him a couple of times.
Where
He
did
had
Bill
a
work
huge-
down there?
One place was the Harrah's Casino, which had a big, and another place was called the Sanger Theater, and there's a couple of other theaters. So
Okay.
I know Rich Hall's had that one bad experience, but that was that club owner who never showed up and
Oh, right.
all that shit. But don't let that deter you. So
what's up
but,
with the girl you're dating, buddy? But thank you.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, man, I've been dating this girl for 4 years now. We were engaged. The engagement's been called off. It's been one of those things where we've been off and on. It started out great. Love, unfortunately, is the kind of the only thing that's kind of got me just going haywire. We connect on a lot of different things. Great personality, great. So we share the same sense of humor, all that sort of thing. She's a 10. But the problem is that that I've been having is there's zero communication, and she has major depression issues. I have major anxiety issues. It's apparently become a bad combination. When she falls into a pit, I don't hear from her for a week. Sometimes there's been times where a month we haven't, talked. In the beginning, earlier on, before I knew about her depression, because she didn't really disclose that to me early on, I kind of got to assuming things, and became kind of distrustful. And it's just like this never-ending vicious cycle. Every time we get into it, we just seem to go nowhere. And then every time we reset and wipe the slate clean, old shit comes up, and then the whole fucking cycle starts all over again. And then in 4 years, we've been at this. And I just don't know what to do because, like I said, the love thing has really got me bonded to her. I really love and care about her a lot, but frankly, I'm just fucking sick of her shit. And
yeah, she's probably sick of yours, right?
I just want to, want your opinion on it, man. I need some advice here.
Well, I mean, if you really love the girl and she's a 10 and you guys are both a mess, you're probably going to have problems with no matter who you date because you're still a mess, right? And she's still a mess. Why don't you both just get help and then be nice to each other? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you get help and she gets help because, as they say, two sick people don't make one healthy one.
Right, and we partially have done that. We did couples counseling one time, which turned into a disaster. I've been in therapy for about almost 2 years. She doesn't have insurance. She wants to go to therapy, but she makes like no strides in doing so. She was on medicine for a while. She was off medicine, on medicine. I know that's been a contributing factor to her fucking complete lunacy. And basically, I feel like, I've been there overall, and I'm not trying to paint myself as a saint because I haven't. I got to be honest. But I mean, I've stood there for every little thing and every little curve and obstacle that she's tried to overcome. I've fucking been right there. Death in families, things with legal problems. She works from home. She doesn't drive. I do everything for her. And then she always comes back with me. Well, I've been there for you. And it's always a tit for tat. You go around in a circle. You can go at it all day. That's what they tell you in therapy. And we're just getting nothing done. So as of right now, we're not engaged. And we've been still kind of dating. And then we had a recent argument. And it's kind of over a major issue. She's a hypochondriac. She thinks she might have an STD. It's just a fucking whirlwind, man.
Well, then, dude, hold on. If the mental illness is too much, then don't be with her. You have to. It's very simple. It's either worth it or it's not worth it. Like, either sometimes we all have to put up with shit. So it's either worth it if the relationship is fun and the girl is great. But just because she's really hot and you guys get along, if there's too much baggage, then don't deal with it. Just move on. Or why don't you guys take a break for a couple of months? Just break up for a couple months and just see. Is she still in love with you?
She claims to be, when she feels like she can come out of her shell and wants to start talking, she'll start going on about how she's, she thinks of me all the time and all this love shit. And it's like, meanwhile, you've left me abandoned all this time.
Why don't you guys both go to individual therapy, not together? Couples therapy is fine, but you know what? A lot of times people just need to fix their own shit and not in context of the relationship. Everything is not about the relationship. You know what I mean? And then a lot of times I'll ask him to take out the garbage, but he'll Bill looked at me. That's how fucking both of you shut up.
And we don't even live together. That's another thing. We haven't lived together. We've been doing this. We don't live far apart.
You know what? Fuck couples therapy. You go and then let her go. And then hopefully you both get a little bit fixed on your own. And then maybe be a better couple, okay?
Okay, man.
Be good, my sweet.
Side, mate.
Thank you very
much. New
much.
Orleans, please, man. New Orleans.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Charlotte, North Carolina. Good question. About prostitutes being found out, girls who have sex trafficked. How do I feel? What's up, Charlotte?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, yeah, I wanted to get your take. I've done a lot of research on, human trafficking, and you had mentioned in you guys' earlier show the dark web, and there's a lot of child prostitution and trafficking taking place. And I know you have a history of purchasing sex, and with a lot of the documentation that's coming out, that's really unveiling the fact that a lot of these young women, not even just kids, it's more by force, a lot of manipulation. Kind of wanted to get your take on that, as I don't know if you're a current or a previous purchaser, but
I'll tell you, to be honest, in the last couple of years, most of my perversions have been non-prostitute oriented. Like, I've got some sex workers, but not many. But that doesn't matter. To answer your question, the sex traffic, I've heard different stats on it. Like, I know a girl, she's a friend of mine. She used to be a sex worker. She actually does stand up, and she talks very openly about it. And she said that a lot of times, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but she's saying a lot of feminists and a lot of people who are against prostitution being legal jack up these stats to make them a lot higher than they are. So the sex trafficking seems like more of an issue. And then there's other people who want to make it look like it doesn't exist at all. How do I feel about it? I think it's disgusting. I think it's fucking horrible. And I think the people who are sex trafficking should be thrown in prison. But I still think it should be legal. And I think that people who want to do it for a living of their own free will should be allowed to make that decision. As an adult, you should be allowed to make that decision.
Yeah.
But the idea
would you have any even feedback for like some of the men who maybe do purchases, how to maybe be a little bit more diligent and, how to go about making sure it's somebody who, is there of their own free will and, there isn't any underlying motive. And, because one thing that they always talk about is, who's getting the money or who's handling the transaction, who's organizing this. And is there anything you would want to point out or communicate to maybe other guys?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't know what the telltale signs are. I know typically I imagine if you're going to go and get like a Russian hooker somewhere, like I'm going to imagine that most of the places are going to be a controlled environment, like, a brothel or something like that. I've always had people come to my house. So a lot of guys can't do that. But, I felt like, I don't know if that cut down on it or not. I mean, if forced sex workers may go to people's houses. I just don't know. But I don't know what the questions would be to ask or to how to find out. Typically, though, I've always seen like American girls. Not that that matters, but I think that they are. It seems like less likely to be forced into it because they're not coming over here and like having their passport or their fucking visas withheld. But I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer. I wish I did as a guy who's gotten a lot of hookers. But
that would be a definite interesting, segment or guest to have during you guys' morning show.
But now, who would that be?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to look up some experts, but somebody along that field, because I'm sure there's a lot of your male listeners who are equally as they don't know. What can you ask? How can you make sure if you are buying it from somebody, it's from somebody who's legitimately comfortable selling it, as opposed to somebody who's just, doing it so they don't get their fat.
The energy I've gotten from people that I've engaged with has usually been, like, a lot of times I've seen the same person over and over many times. Yeah. And after a while, you get to know people. But I typically, somebody coming from an agency, like I never really ordered from agencies. I would usually just try to get the person herself. I think you have a better shot at it being the person if you're actually dealing with the person directly, as opposed to an agency where they're just sending girls out or just having you come and they just give you a girl. Yeah. So I would suggest try to find a girl who is, working for herself. And they usually say independent, I'm an independent. Maybe do that. But again, I'm sure that wouldn't totally guarantee it either. So you kind of stumped me on that. I wish I had a better answer. Holy shit, I have 1 minute left. Sorry, everybody who's on hold. I'm babbling. I don't, Charlotte. I wish I had a better answer for you.
I would love
to ask somebody who was in the business. What are some of the telltale signs? And they'll probably say there are none because a girl who's being held by her against her will won't tell you. But I can only suggest dealing with the girls directly. I think would at least help cut that down. So, great question. Okay.
Alrighty, have a good one.
All right. So the people who called in, I didn't get to. I apologize. There's like 8 people left on the phones, but I have to wrap up. So let's just see one real quick. Ben in Virginia, recently hooked up with a girl you've been with for a year, and your dick went limp. Real quick, how do you approach her now? Is it just mental?
Well, yeah. Hey, Jim, this is Ben. Real quick, since it's the end, we haven't been like dating for a year. We've been friends and like hanging out on and off.
Was this your first time being sexual with her?
Yes.
Okay. You panicked a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Were you horny? Hold on. Were you horny, or were you just having sex because it was happening and you felt like you should?
No, things were obviously progressing to that point, and I wasn't worried. But sort of when it came down to the actual act, I just went a total rubbery one. Like, I was hard for the build-up, and all that kind of stuff, but when it came down to it, it just drooped on me.
You know what? Maybe you were a little scared or nervous, or maybe you just wanted certain sexual activity but not intercourse, or maybe sometimes men are taught that we always should want to fuck. There's plenty of times where I just wanted to kiss and not fuck, but if a girl wants to fuck, I feel obligated to shove it in, and my dick looks up like, hey, fucking idiot, have some self-esteem, say no, and it goes limp. So give yourself a break, talk to her about it. You don't have to be afraid of it, dude. Your dick wants to work. It's one of those things that does happen from time to time, but don't shame your dick. Your dick will work again, okay?
Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, see you later. Oh, boy, what a way to end a call with a non-man. He's finished. All right, guys, thanks for your calls, and sorry I missed all of you, and I'll see you next week unless I'm dead.
Thanks for listening to The Jim Norton Show. Hear all that advice whenever you want to on demand at SiriusXM.com/on-demand. On SiriusXM is real.